The good news is I'm back. The bad news is I went to Europe. I'm not even sure if most of you noticed that I was gone. I'm in the community post, but I had videos scheduled. Well, I'm back now from France with my family, and that's all that matters. So I'm gonna talk about it. But even before we got there, the flight was a story in itself. It was a 10-hour flight that started at 11 p.m. Now, it was expected for people to be sleeping, since it was an overnight flight. But this was the perfect time to binge anime, and there is no way I am turning that down. Look, it's either have a healthy mental and physical life, or Overlord. Get your priorities in order, people. I trained myself to stay awake until 4:30 in the morning every day. I had stuff to do as well. I needed to stack up on some videos as well as do all the summer homework school assigned me because I've been procrastinating because I'm me. So I think staying up way too late at night that I thought Freddy Fazbear would jump out of the closet was somewhat useful. I proceeded to stay up 25 hours and half of that was spent watching Overlord. I have spent 24 hours awake before and it felt terrible. Now that I've done it for a second time, it only feels a little bit less terrible. Once we got to the hotel, I instantly fell asleep, but only for an hour because my body will not go to sleep during the day unless I am in the brink of death, which I was. But the next day was our time for the touristy things in Paris with the family. Oh yeah, we were in Paris, by the way. The schedule was to eat food at restaurant, eat food at cafe, walk to bakery to buy food, eat more food at restaurant, eat more food at cafe. And then it's nighttime, so we got to do the one thing you do when you go to Paris. See the Eiffel Tower. It is the one thing interesting about Paris other than the freaking food. We went on a little boat tour that lasted like 40 minutes. They talked about some museums and palaces and churches, but who cares about that? We are all here to see the Eiffel Tower, and we saw it. It was like how all the images on the internet made it look like. I mean, what were you expecting? It's really just a glorified cell tower. And then we went back to the hotel because I needed to take a dump per all the food I ate. Now I won't be going through like day 2 or day 3 because my brain can't remember things. It's like a poorly made compilation of an anime you find on YouTube. I have been watching way too much Netflix. I did buy this notebook to write everything down just in case I forgot it, and then I forgot about the notebook for the entire trip. So all you're getting are gonna be bits and pieces nicely poured into a super alugnion. That just means onion soup, by the way. I remember staying a few days in Paris, but there's really not much to do after seeing the Tower of Eiffel. So we went to Nice, Monaco, and Saint Tropez. I think I didn't pronounce any of those words correctly, but French people don't know how to spell, so it's not my fault. Nice is first on the list. I know it's pronounced Nice, but like nice sounds nice. They have a beach, and that's like their one defining character trait. So that was fun for like 10 minutes. Next was Monaco. I actually knew Monaco because it's in Battle Cats. But for the people who don't know, Monaco is an entirely different country and not like a city in France. It is also the second smallest country in the world. I remember nothing from Monaco except I saw this really cool tree that I thought fairies could live there. But there were no fairies in sight, probably because they saw how expensive the food was. Then we went to Saint Tropez, which was in France. For like half the trip, I thought it was Saint Topaz, like the gemstone. I'm not a big sightseer, but my parents are, and they took a photo like every 5 minutes. I get the place is pretty, but that's a bit excessive. And plus, it doesn't look much different for like 8 miles. But there were other places we went to as well that I don't remember where, but just remember being there. Like a museum. We went to France. Of course we went to a museum. Not the one with the Mona Lisa. That one's too crowded. But speaking of the Mona Lisa, did you know the only reason that painting is so famous is because it was stolen? So theoretically, you could steal a random painting and you're doing the artist a favor by making it famous. On an unrelated note, here's this really cool painting I found. We also went to McDonald's because Mickey D's apparently has geo-restricted content, food. I have been watching way too much Netflix. We were going there to eat their macarons, but we forgot to order it. See, the forgetfulness runs in the family. We did get these cheese fries and potato crisps or something. Those cheese fries were too good. It's literally just McDonald's fries with melted cheese, but they were indescribably heavenly. Why do we not have this in the US? It's literally just cheese on fries. We have the fries, we have the cheese. By the end, I ate so much food I didn't have anything for the rest of the day, and McDonald's was the lunch. But at the end of the day, you don't go into the golden arches to fill yourself up, you go up to feed the never-ending stomach of it. The greedy corporation behind those innocent golden arcs. Anyways, I found this pigeon with 1 foot. I thought that was cool. Pigeons are cool. I remember my mom explaining to me that French people care a lot about their appearance, so to avoid being fat, they smoke to resist any food cravings. You know, that makes sense, because we all know smoking does wonders to your face. I ate so much food during France, and almost all of it was so good. I have probably never eaten this much food in my life. I think I'll just not eat food for the rest of the year. That should solve it. Finally, once it was time to leave, I spent 11 hours watching anime again. It felt terrible, again. Overall, it was a good trip. Wait, if you talk about good experiences on social media, doesn't it like lower other people's self-esteem or something? My trip to France was terrible. It was the worst trip ever. My life is terrible. Well, now that I'm finally home so I can rest. Wait, school starts tomorrow? Sorry if this video seemed a little rushed. I wanted to get it out as soon as possible so I could start working on the video for this channel's 1 year anniversary. I've already been doing this junk for a year. I do feel kinda bad for this video because I missed out on a ton of jokes. Like my dad's most American bonjour. He says it like bonjour. When the French people hear it, they respond in English. That was funny, but I forgot to add it to the script, so I'm stapling it here. Anyways, I'm gonna work on my 1 year anniversary video, which is gonna probably come out late.